You are listening to WxDuel Storm Tracker. This broadcast compiles official National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration and National Weather Service products. This feed is provided for entertainment and informational purposes only. Always check official forecasts from the National Weather Service at weather.gov before making any decisions dependent upon the weather conditions. National Forecast Discussion. Good evening, this is the nation's weather summary. The most significant and high-impact weather story this week continues to revolve around the intensifying Arctic cold outbreak across the northern tier of the U.S., coupled with a developing, potentially severe winter storm targeting the southern plains and southeast. In the upper Midwest, dangerously cold conditions are building. In North Dakota, temperatures will only reach the negative teens on Friday, with life-threatening wind chills expected, possibly plunging to 40 to 55 degrees below zero across parts of Minnesota and the Arrowhead region, beginning Thursday evening and lasting into Saturday morning. This is the coldest air the region has seen since 2021. Further south, sub-zero wind chills of 25 to 40 degrees below zero are likely from North Platte, Nebraska, to areas of South Dakota like Aberdeen and Sioux Falls. Forecasters warn of major, long-lived cold from Friday night through Monday, impacting locations like Bangor and across the north of Maine, with potential impacts like frost quakes and exploding trees, which is a rare occurrence. Across the Great Lakes, the bitter cold air mass descending out of Canada will drop 850 millibar temperatures to minus 30 degrees Celsius by Friday night, leading to lows in the negative single digits throughout the region, including Detroit and Grand Rapids. Near record-setting cold is possible in Wisconsin and Michigan over the weekend. The attention then shifts south where a major winter storm system is gaining high confidence status, though specific details remain challenging. Across the southern plains, including parts of Oklahoma and North Texas, accumulating snow is likely Friday through Sunday. The ensemble guidance shows a 50 to 70% chance of at least an inch of snow for the Texas Panhandle, with over 80% chances for snowfall across the northern third of Oklahoma. For locations along and south of Interstate 40 in Oklahoma, forecasters are watching for an initial mix of freezing rain and sleet before transitioning to mostly snow. Meanwhile, this same storm will bring significant ice potential to the deep south. Portions of central and northern Alabama, including Birmingham and Mobile, are increasingly concerned about freezing rain and ice accumulation Friday night through Sunday night. The current thinking suggests a significant impact potential across the northern half of Alabama. Further east, confidence is increasing for an impactful winter event from the Carolinas down to Georgia. Forecasts for the Columbia, South Carolina area and Charleston, South Carolina, are trending toward a mixed precipitation event featuring snow, sleet, and freezing rain, with surface temperatures dropping below freezing Saturday night. The potential ceiling for this event is very high, with concern for significant impacts. Out west, a different story unfolds. In California, high pressure persists, keeping conditions warm and dry, but a closed low-pressure system off the coast of Southern California is expected to bring a significant cooling trend beginning Wednesday. This system may bring a low chance of light rain or drizzle to parts of the Sierra Nevada mountains on Thursday and Friday. In New Mexico, an Arctic cold front arriving late Thursday will cause temperatures to plummet, bringing a 50 to 70% chance for difficult to severe winter driving conditions across the eastern half of the state Friday and Saturday. We will continue to track these high-impact weather threats throughout the week. National Short-Range Forecast. Lake effect snow expected downwind of the Great Lakes. Frigid Arctic air mass remains in place over northeastern United States today before temperatures moderate on Wednesday. Freeze warnings in effect from southern Georgia down to central Florida. Cold west, northwesterly flow over the Great Lakes will generate snow showers downwind of the lakes for the next several days. Between 6 to 12 inches are probable for most areas, with isolated higher amounts possible, especially downwind of Lake Ontario where heavier snowfall is expected today. Meanwhile, the same frigid Arctic air mass will remain in place from the Midwest to the northeast, mid-Atlantic today. Highs in the teens and 20s will represent temperatures that are 15 to 25 degrees below average. Freezing to near freezing temperatures prompted the continuance of freeze warnings from southern Georgia into central Florida for tonight. Temperatures begin to rebound on Wednesday as renewed southerly flow supplies warmer temperatures out ahead of an approaching low-pressure system. Elsewhere, an upper ridge will continue to support above-average temperatures across most of the west over the next several days. An upper-level disturbance will break off from its parent low stationed over the Gulf of Alaska and amplify into a closed low over the California coast late Wednesday into Thursday. This system may bring some rain, snow showers to parts of the Sierra Nevada on Thursday, followed by a major winter storm over parts of the central and eastern United States beginning on Friday. Heavy snow and icing discussion. Northern Plains, Upper Midwest, Great Lakes. Days 1 to 3. Sprawling Hudson Bay vortex dominates the continental pattern through this week. A pair of shortwave troughs round the low, emerging from the Canadian prairies as clippers and cross the northern plains, upper Midwest and the Great Lakes today and Wednesday. These clippers will continue to trigger lake-effect snow bands over the typical snow belts in their wake. The first shortwave trough axis reaches Montana this morning with repeating areas of moderate snow through the morning with topographical enhancements where 1 inch per hour snow rates are possible. Day 1 probabilistic winter precipitation forecast for greater than 4 inches or around 50% on the Little Belt and Big Snowy Mountains. This clipper will redevelop snow bands over eastern South Dakota this afternoon with a decent, but narrow swath of snow then east along the Minnesota, Iowa and within Illinois borders tonight and southern Michigan late tonight into Wednesday. Day 1. 5 probabilistic winter precipitation forecast for greater than 4 inches is 40 to 50% from northeast Iowa along the within Illinois border and southwest Michigan. The Wednesday clipper should follow a similar track, but with lower overall precipitation. The Great Lakes ice coverage is rising, currently around 18% mainly on narrower bays and western Lake Erie per GLERL. Sufficiently steep low-level lapse rates persist with 850 millibars temperatures of -20 degrees Celsius to -25 degrees Celsius over surface water temperatures between +1 degrees Celsius and +5 degrees Celsius. Westerly flow continues today ahead of the first clipper with a lull spreading east tonight through Wednesday night as the two clippers cross. The strong single banding persists from Lake Ontario today with Day 1 probabilistic winter precipitation forecast for greater than 8 inches additional after 12Z over 80% in the Tug Hill Plateau. Day 2 probabilistic winter precipitation forecast for greater than 6 inches is around 30% east of Lake Erie and around 50% in the Tug Hill. Then lake effect snow resumes for the northern lakes with Day 3 probabilistic winter precipitation forecast for greater than 6 inches over 90% in the Tug Hill. Southern Tier. Starting Day 3. Southern stream low pressure pushes inland over the northern Baja California Friday with broad cyclonic flow out ahead which opens up Gulf moisture to surge over Arctic-sourced air spilling down the plains from the Hudson Bay vortex. Broad areas of heavy wintry precipitation are expected to develop on Friday over Texas to the southeast. Confidence is high for this event occurring, though details on how much winter accumulations, types, and locations have uncertainty mainly derived from the timing of the southern stream wave surging inland. Key messages on this storm and the extreme cold are active and linked below. Excessive rainfall discussion. Day 1 the probability of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance is less than 5%. Day 2, the probability of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance is less than 5%. Day 3, the probability of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance is less than 5%. Extended forecast. The two main highlights this week into the weekend will be the significant winter storm that will impact the southern plains into the mid-Atlantic, and the dangerously cold temperatures across the north-central portion of the country. The winter storm should start impacting portions of the southern plains on Friday, expanding eastward into the Tennessee Valley and southeast on Saturday, and into the mid-Atlantic over the weekend. This is likely to be a widespread event, with a large swath of hazardous winter conditions. On the southern side of this system, significant freezing rain is expected, likely resulting in dangerous travel conditions and power outages. Given the Arctic air mass in place, temperatures will likely only be in the teens and 20s where freezing rain is occurring, which will only act to increase travel impacts. The exact swath of ice will be a bit uncertain until we get closer to the event. But currently the highest probabilities stretch from portions of central Texas into the lower Mississippi Valley and into portions of South Carolina, North Carolina. To the north of this icing threat will be a swath of significant snowfall stretching from Oklahoma into the Tennessee Valley and mid-Atlantic. Again, we will need to fine-tune the northern and southern gradients of this snow, and also the exact magnitudes. But a rather wide swath of significant snowfall is likely. Temperatures in the teens and 20s will increase travel impacts from this snow and also result in snow ratios likely higher than climatology. This should result in higher snowfall totals than applying a simple 10-to-1 ratio to quantitative precipitation forecast would give you, especially on the northern half of the snowfall axis. Dangerously cold temperatures are forecast to impact the north-central United States starting Thursday under an Arctic surface high, which will push much colder than average temperatures farther south and east for Friday into the weekend. The northern plains to upper Midwest can expect extreme cold, with temperatures likely reaching 20 to 30 degrees below zero by Friday and Saturday morning, and even colder wind chills potentially reaching -50 degrees in some locations. Even highs are forecast to stay below 0 degrees through Saturday in the upper Midwest. Much colder than average temperatures will expand into the Central Plains Friday and towards the Gulf and East Coasts this weekend. Highs are forecast to be in the teens as far south as Oklahoma, Missouri and across the Ohio Valley into Pennsylvania and southern New England. These temperatures will be as much as 20 to 30 plus degrees below average. Temperatures may start to moderate by Monday into Tuesday as the high weakens, though remain below normal across the Gulf Coast to eastern seaboard. Meanwhile, the Rockies should block the cold air from moving into the west where temperatures should generally remain near to above average. Severe weather outlook Day 1. Thunderstorms are not forecast across the United States today or tonight. Severe weather outlook Day 2. Isolated thunderstorm are possible Wednesday and Wednesday night across portions of southeast Texas and Louisiana. Severe weather outlook Day 3. Thunderstorms are not expected on Thursday. Fire weather outlook. Synopsis. A low-amplitude shortwave trough and accompanying speed maximum will cross the central Rockies during the afternoon, while an attendant surface low tracks south-southeastward along the northern, central high plains. Related downslope flow will yield 10 to 15% relative humidity across much of the central high plains, where around 20 miles per hour sustained northwesterly surface winds, with higher gusts, are expected. These dry, windy conditions will favor elevated to locally critical fire weather conditions over northeastern Colorado, southwestern Nebraska, and northwest Kansas. A separate corridor of elevated fire weather conditions is expected in the lee of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains in southern Colorado, with locally critical conditions possible within the gap flow areas. Between these two corridors, recent snowfall should limit fire weather concerns. Elsewhere, modestly breezy northeasterly surface winds are expected amid a dry antecedent air mass across parts of the western and central Florida peninsula, where locally elevated fire weather conditions are possible. Space weather update. Solar activity is likely to be at moderate, R1, R2, minor, moderate, levels, with a chance for X-class flares, R3 strong, on the 20th of January and a slight chance for additional X-class flares on the 21st to the 22nd of January, primarily due to the magnetic structure and recent history of region 4341. Atlantic tropical outlook. The Atlantic hurricane season is currently inactive. Routine issuance will resume on May 15. Pacific tropical outlook. The Pacific hurricane season is currently inactive. Routine issuance will resume on May 15. Warnings summary. There are currently 16 active life safety warnings across the continental United States. This day in weather history. In 1978, the first of two historic blizzards began in the Northeast. In 1921, the first radio broadcasts of weather forecasts began at the University of Wisconsin, revolutionizing how the public received storm warnings. National temperature extremes. The national high temperature in the last 24 hours was 84 in Woodland Hills, California. The national low was -29 in Tower, Minnesota. Did you know? Thundersnow is a rare weather phenomenon where snow falls instead of rain during a thunderstorm. The snow dampens the sound, making the thunder sound more like a low rumble.